Hello, Spencer and Jamie here again from militarymoneymanual.com and the Military Money Manual podcast. We've been running through a 10-part series on if you don't have time for anything else, just do these things, how to build wealth, how to become financially independent in the military. Number one, we talked about contributing 5% to your Roth thrift savings plan, your Roth TSP. Number two, we talked about going to tsp.gov and making sure that you're invested in the latest L fund closest to your retirement date. Number three, we talked about saving $1,000 for an emergency fund. And number four, we talked about budgeting a realistic amount for your big expenses, which is usually food, rent, transportation, and other expenses.
Number five, pay down your high interest rate debts. Number six, based on your budget, increase your emergency fund to cover 3 months of expenses. Number seven, open a Vanguard Roth IRA and contribute the maximum annual limit to a total stock market index fund like VTSAX. Number eight, max out your Roth TSP contributions annually. And then this week, we're talking about number nine. Number nine is build the life you want and save for it. Spencer, what does that mean? What do you mean when you wrote that?
Yeah, this one's a little bit squishier, Jamie. So the first 8 steps are kind of like the spreadsheet steps, right? The checklist. Do these things in this order. And then you get to this step. It's like when you go to fly an airplane and like, okay, you've got the engine started, you've loaded the mission computer, but what do you actually want to go do? Like, let's say it's a training sortie and you get to kind of write the script and you might say, okay, well, these are the kind of the objectives we want to achieve, but how are we going to achieve them? What are we going to do along the way? And what training do we want to get? And what experiences do we want to have? Do we want to go do some low-level flying? Do we want to go do airdrop? Do we want to do some touch and goes? Sorry for all the pilot references. I'm just, I'm connecting with my pilot roots here. Those are the things that you have to decide when you're mission planning, for a training sortie. And these are kind of the things that you need to think about as well when you're mission planning your life, essentially. So what do we mean when we say build the life you want and then save for it? What I find in the personal finance and the financial independence and the the financial independence retire early community is a lot of people get obsessed with saving and building their wealth and getting out of debt and having their net worth go up every month and every year. And they kind of get lost in the spreadsheet. They kind of forget why they're doing all this. And a lot of times it's maybe because they don't have a sense of control over their lives. Like in the military, you might be in a 10-year contract and you might not have any other options. Like you literally can't quit. You have to keep going. Or maybe you're at 16 or 17 years of active duty service and you're like, I can't really stop now. I got to get to a 20-year retirement. There's a book out there called The Golden Albatross, all about these cliff vested pensions and how you just keep grinding it out until you get to that 20-year retirement. And a lot of people, they serve 20 years exactly, or 20 years in a day, and then they retire because that's all they really have. And they're not really enjoying the journey along the way. They just kind of get that finish line in mind and they just keep grinding it out until they get there. So what I'm trying to encourage the listener or the reader to do, and this line comes from my book, The Military Money Manual, but what I wanted to encourage the person to do is the person who's interested in financial independence is probably an optimizer. They're probably trying to change something in their life. They're probably trying to create a system to optimize their financial life. And I wanted to remind them that like how you spend your days is how you spend your life. So if you're living on rice and beans, you don't have a good social calendar, or you're always the one who's, saying, no, I can't go out to eat because we're trying to save money. And so you never see your friends. You're not capitalizing on amazing experiences like going skiing or going to weddings when you're in your 20s, or just enjoy, like if you're stationed overseas, like enjoying, the local culture, the local economy. If you're not doing those things, like those opportunities will pass you by. There's going to become a time when you're not 19 years old anymore and stationed in Japan. So just, yes, have a high savings rate and make sure that you're not in debt and keep building your wealth, keep building your net worth so that one day you are financially independent and perhaps even beyond financial independence. But just recognize that if you get there and you're miserable, you're still going to be miserable. Like having more money in the bank isn't going to make you happy. So I just wanted to get people to recognize that fact and kind of pull their, and really it was a message to myself, right? It was a message to myself to say, pull yourself out of the spreadsheet. Don't look at the savings rate number, but look at your life. Are you doing the things that you want to do? And if you're not, then why are you doing this? Like, what is the point? And just one small example was when we moved to Hawaii, and we had always been several $100s or even thousands of dollars under our BAH limit. And by BAH limit, I mean just like the BAH that we were being paid, right? So in New Jersey, I think our BAH was like $2,500 or something. And we found a place that was like $1,600 a month, and it was great. We loved it. We were only there for 18 months, but it was fit our needs. It was perfect. It was a little cold, but New Jersey's a little cold. Now, when we moved to Hawaii, we were kind of in that mindset of let's find something that's below our BAH. And we started looking, and I don't know if you've ever been to Hawaii, but it is really expensive. And the BAH is set extremely high for a reason. And we ended up finding a place that was above our BAH. It was a couple $100s above our BAH as a captain, and it was going to be about our BAH as a major. And we said, look, like we're only going to live in Hawaii once. Like, do we want to live someplace that has a pool or someplace that doesn't have a pool? Someplace that's close to the beach or a place that's not close to the beach? And we decided, you know what? Like, we've had this super high savings rate, this 40% savings rate for so many years. It's okay to dial it back a little bit and have a 30% savings rate. Like, we're still going to be financially independent. Maybe I have to work for an extra year, but it's going to happen. Like, it is just, this is the concept of coast fi, right? Like, where you're essentially, you have enough saved that you're going to be financially independent by a traditional retirement age. But for a lot of people who save very heavily in their 20s and 30s, they'll be financially independent much earlier than a traditional age 65 retirement.
That's a great message there, Spencer. I think one other angle I want to talk about is the transition from saving, deny to you're set, you're good. Whether it's like I have enough where I can dial back the saving, or I've actually achieved financial independence. And a lot of people in the financial independence retire early community struggle with that transition from the scarcity mindset to enjoying your wealth. So don't withdraw and withhold so much that you have no friends, no family, no fun, you have no hobbies left, that to the point where you have $5 million or $10 million one day and you have nothing to do to enjoy it. That would be a terrible way to end your life with a lot of money and no joy.
And I think the other thing that you brought up there too, Jamie, is I challenge people who have a very high savings rate and they're like, no, I'm good. I'm happy. And I'm like, well, what's something like that you're really interested in, right? And they're like, oh, well, like I really like my Toyota. Yes, we have a spreadsheet. And they're like, I really like my Toyota Tacoma. And it's like, okay, is there an upgrade that you could buy for your Toyota Tacoma? Yeah, there's this like thing, but it costs like $5,000. I'm like, just like, how much did you save last year? Like $50,000, $60,000? Just go buy the $5,000 thing that you've been looking at for your Toyota Tacoma. It might not bring you joy, right? Like you might be like, you know what? That was a waste of money. That's the thing that you have to get past when you're shifting from that scarcity mindset to that abundance mindset is you are going to waste money. You're going to spend money on things that don't bring you joy and don't bring you happiness and aren't worth it, but you need to figure out what those things are. And so for a lot of people, we've talked about this on previous podcasts, Jamie, where, someone's like, oh, I can't wait till financial independence. I'll finally start flying business class or lie flat or first class. And it's like, well, have you ever done it? And they're like, no. And it's like, okay, well, how much would it cost to upgrade on your next flight that you're going to Europe or you're going across country? How much would it cost to upgrade to a lie flat? And they might be like, oh, I don't know, $1,000. Like, okay, just do it. Just try it. Just try it once. And if you do it and you're like, oh, that was worth the money, great. Now you kind of know that that's something that you value. But you might do and be like, I still got there at the same time. I was just sitting a little bit further in the plane and yeah, I took a nap, but like, you know what? I'd rather have the $1,000 to spend on experiences or food when I got to my destination. And that's not a waste of money. That's an investment in figuring out what makes you tick and what brings you happiness. And that's really the point that I was trying to make when I was saying, build the life you want. Like you got to figure out what kind of life you want, and then you got to build it. And that takes capital. That takes money and time and energy.
Or you might love it and say, okay, how much would it cost to do this every time I fly? And it might be $5,000 for the year. And so, or $10,000. So you set aside that money intentionally because now you have something that you can do that brings you joy, makes your life easier, more comfortable travel, or whatever it is for you, you can plan for that. You do not have to wait till retirement age, till you're 75 or 55 to enjoy life with your money. You can build that life now by deciding what's meaningful to you and then saving for that on the way to financial independence. Great
Absolutely.
message, Spencer. Thanks for including squishy topics for the spreadsheet nerds too.
You know, Jamie, I think we like the squishy topics even more than the hard topics on this podcast, but
there's a lot of passion. I got like 2 fingers pointing at me through the camera on that last Spencer rant.
All right. Well, so hey, listener, that was number 9. Next week, we're going to wrap it up with number 10. We'll talk about all 10 things you need to do. And if you'd rather reference this on a piece of paper, the book, The Military Money Manual, it's on Amazon, it's on Kindle, it's on my website, shop.militarymoneymanual.com. And you can pick it up there. And it takes you like a couple hours to read. And I've had a few people say it's been life-changing, which is awesome. I mean, that's why I wrote it. I want to change people's lives in a positive way. So go check it out, Military Money Manual. And I think it's like $3 on Amazon Kindle right now. And it's free in your local military library or MWR, the Libby app. Just go grab it. Like, I don't even need the money. I just want you to read it. So go check it out, Military Money Manual.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Military Money Manual podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. This helps others find the show, and we really appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
The views and opinions presented here are those of the speakers and do not necessarily represent the views of the DoD or its components. Reference to any commercial products or services does not constitute DoD endorsement of those products or services.